Oh, it's still there.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. Yay.
Hallelujah.
Could you hear us?
I can hear you. Yay.
I mean, could you before?
No. There we go. Sorry about that.
It's okay. A recap for the recording. We approved the minutes from December 11th, and we are about to have the treasurer's report.
Okay, can everybody see that?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, great. So this is through October. Normally I'd be giving you November meeting or financials, but April is a little bit behind just having completed the audit. So we'll make that up next month. But right now you have October's. Basically, let's see. Total income is $410,000. Total expenses are $371,000. So we have a net income of $38,000 year to date through October. So that's basically good news. Happy to take any questions on financial activities.
I have a question. Could somebody mute your radio that's on?
I just slipped that in, Tim.
You read my mind.
Peter.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yes.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing that one. And then I'm going to go to share again. Up here. Nope. And now I'm going to go to this. So if anybody's watching TV, if you wouldn't mind muting yourself, that would be great.
You need to ask Peter.
Peter, can you hear me?
Adam, if you click on participants, there should be an option where you can mute everybody.
He could hear you.
Yeah, he could hear me. Okay, I'm gonna get through, I'm gonna share this first and then I'll get to a place where I can click on participants. Thank you, Rich. So this is a statement of the financial position. Basically, this is like your balance sheet. So we have total assets of $1,174,000. You can see our liabilities are basically $705,000. Our unrestricted fund balance is $424,000 plus the net income you saw basically last in the previous slide, 38. So total equity of $469,000. And with that, I'd tell you we are in good financial shape. As of this time, happy to take any questions on the statement of financial activities.
Go up to the first line.
Yep. First line, checking account?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you normally try to run it that high?
No, we normally try and keep it below $250,000,
Okay,
which is the
that's what I was
FDIC limit. And you can see the sweep account there of
Yeah.
376.
Right.
Basically, that's where it should go when it gets above 250. It's a moment in time. So
Yeah, and it's one day.
yeah.
Okay, that's I was trying to think. We didn't need to, with the amount of cash we have and other things like that, we didn't need to keep a buffer because we had the sweep account.
That's what the purpose of the sweep account is, to be a
Okay,
buffer.
thank you.
Yep. Okay. Any other questions on the statement of financial position? Okay, I'm going to stop sharing so I can see you all. Okay. And participants, I am going to click mute all so that we don't have to listen to the TV. Please wave at me or raise your hand or whatever else if you need to talk to me. Okay.
Thanks.
Great. And hopefully I didn't mute myself and you can all hear me, right? Okay, perfect. Good. Okay. So Arabella, that is the treasurer's report. I guess I need to unmute you.
I think I may have been able to do it myself.
you
Okay,
can-
perfect.
yeah.
Good.
All right,
Good.
and I've lost the agenda. I think we have committee reports next.
Well, we need to basically have a motion, please, to accept
right.
the treasurer's report as presented.
Yep.
So moved.
Second,
Steve and Shannon.
Yep.
So-
Okay, now committee report.
Now, so there's a motion on the floor, just
Oh.
have us vote on it. It's okay.
I'm
It's
so
all
new at
good.
this.
That's
Okay.
great.
So all in favor, say aye, or hold up a thumb or a hand or whatever.
Aye.
Any opposed? And abstentions? Okay, motion carries. Now we'll have committee reports, starting with Act 250.
There is no Act 250 committee report for this evening.
Next would be energy.
I have been waiting years to say this. Did not meet.
Okay. Local government.
yeah, we met on December 16th in Waltham, and we'll be covering that meeting further on in the new business, but we're also meeting next Wednesday in Orwell to do the regional review of their plan.
Wow. Next is natural resources, who has not met. Then is TAC.
Did not meet.
It's like it was a holiday or something. Housing. Tim.
Housing met just a few minutes ago this evening, and we discussed a presentation that we're working on to present to the towns about Act 181 and the flu methodology, that's future land use area methodology. The towns will need to become acquainted with, and we decided to schedule this meeting for February 20th. And we'll be sending out an invitation. Katie will be sending out an invitation to select boards and planning commissions for each of the towns.
February 20th at what time?
6
Tom?
p.m.
Thank you.
Okay. The economic.
Can I ask a quick question? I'm not familiar with 181. What is 181?
That's the Act 250 reform bill.
Okay, it's
which
181. I think I was
is-
thinking 171.
There's a 171 too. I can't remember all the numbers.
The
Okay.
one that we're discussing is 181.
Okay. Take your word for
I've been looking at it quite a bit
it.
lately.
Nice.
Next would be economic development.
Did not meet.
Okay. And the joint partners report, delegate / staff recognition.
Fred, do you have anything you want to say? Fred Kenny from Economic Development Corporation?
Not tonight, Adam.
Okay, great. Thank you. Let's see. I have a couple people that I want to introduce, Arabella.
Okay. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's see. So I see we have two new staff members with us tonight. They started on January 6th. Danielle is right in the middle of your screen. Danielle, do you want to say hello?
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. My name is Danelle Byrong, actually.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Adam, you've said it right every other time, so I was shocked, actually. But I'm used to that in general. So call me what you wish. And
No,
It was an example of what we should all not do. It was just an
Right.
example. Yeah.
And I am one of the new planners, kind of general. I'll be working with Katie on housing, from Mike on water quality, bike ped grants, etc. So again, it's only been day 3. I did have the opportunity to join the housing meeting right beforehand, and then drove home in what was very snowy weather in those 25 minutes. But I've been a real estate broker for the last 14 years here in Addison County. I was also a co-owner of a restaurant for 17 years here in Virgins. My municipal experience is that I was actually had the honor to serve with Shannon and Mike on the Virgins Planning Commission for 5 years. I've also held roles throughout the community from the Virgins Partnership Economic Development Committee for, gosh, it's probably 10 years I've been on that. I'm also a lister as of right now, and my name will be on the ballot moving forward for another 2 years. And another committee that I'm part of right now is the Virgins Ad Hoc Committee regarding the Green Mountain Youth Campus. So those are, I've kind of had my hand in Virgins municipal community events, engagements, committees, etc. For the last, say, 17 years, 18 years. So.
Welcome, Danelle.
Thank you. Thank you.
great. Thank you, Danelle, and I apologize.
No worries at all. And I look forward to working with all of you in the future. So thank you.
Great. Fred, you have your hand up?
Oh, he's clapping. I think.
No, I'm clapping.
Oh, okay, great. Sorry about that. And I am gonna do better right away, because I am gonna get I am gonna get Jolien's name correct. So Jolien Larson, actually on my screen anyway, is also right in the middle, just above Danelle. Jolien, would you say a couple words about yourself?
Hi, folks. It's so nice to start putting some names to faces. I'm Jolien. I've been living in Vermont not quite as long as Danelle, and not quite as long as most of y'all, but for about the last half decade. I was working on my PhD in natural resources at the University of Vermont. Before that, I was working on a master's in energy policy from Indiana University, and I obtained my undergrad in politics from Hendrix College. I'll be serving as an energy planner for the Regional Planning Commission. I'll be doing a lot of work with Act 174 upgrades to the plans, as well as in the immediate future, working a lot with the MERPS grants and the bond bank. So a lot of energy related work, as well as some tangencies with other policy committees like on housing and transportation. So really excited to be working with you all, and ready to hit the ground running.
Welcome, Jolien, and thank you for joining the Ferrisburg Energy Committee meeting.
Oh, it was such a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Ooh.
Great.
Virgins meeting Thursday, Jolien.
Thursday as in tomorrow?
Yeah. I forgot to send you an invite.
That's okay. I'll have to look at my calendar. But
that's all right.
we'll
We'll be working together next week anyway on, not next week, the 20th.
20th on the regional
for
energy
the
plan.
Regional Planning Commission. So
great.
but from now on, I'll start putting you on the regular hit list for John's activity as well. Thanks.
I can't wait.
Cool.
Excellent. Thank you both. I think that's it. I don't see any new delegates in the room. So so I think that's it for that section. Arabella.
Okay, on to old business, starting with a Maple broadband update. Is there anything to report?
I'll sit in for Steve since he's not here tonight. Not a lot of activity. However, I will say that we are up over 500 active subscribers now as of this week. So we're well on our way to meeting our goals of getting 650 to, be able to maintain without any additional funding. Other than that, we're just, it's kind of a slow period for construction. The BEAD grant process is underway. So we're moving forward and looking good. Thanks.
If I could just add one item, the Middlebury Select Board last month approved $50,000 of their ARPA money to Maple Broadband to help support the build out.
Yes, that was a high point of our December executive board meeting. So thank you, Ross. I know you were instrumental in getting that done. Thank you.
Wait till the very last second. Only 2 years.
Nice.
That's what I thought.
Nice.
Okay, then the next thing is the audit.
Okay, I also sent you out the final audit, which we got yesterday. I sent it out to all of you today. I am not gonna try and pull that up on my screen because it's too long. You all have it if you want it. I will also post it on the Regional Planning Commission's website. It may already be there. What I will do is kind of hit the highlights for you. And they are as follows. Let's see. First, it's a fair audit in accordance with and reflects our finances in accordance with GAAP criteria. ACRPC's total net position increased by $77,807 in fiscal year 2004. Compared to an increase of 32,023, so kind of doubled it, and that's a big year for us. That's probably the biggest year in the 20-something years that I have been here. So pretty exceptional. Always happy to see a fund surplus. So happy to share that with you. Otherwise, let's see. Excuse me, assets exceed liabilities by $416,000 at the close of the most recent fiscal year. And getting to the auditor's report to you all, the board, I'm happy to report, it's not there, but basically he found no instances of fraud or misrepresentation, and found no instances of basically failed systems or non-compliance. So it was a clean audit. There's nothing we need to do other than I would request that you all vote in favor of it. I will tell you, as you might recall from last month, we spent a good deal of time at the executive board reviewing the draft. The first draft, the final draft did not change much, but he did do some extra auditing, basically checking compliance records with April between now and then. Didn't change the report much, but just lends to its credibility.
Okay, do I have a motion to accept the audit?
I'll second. Or standard something.
Did you get those, Adam?
Yep.
Okay, then, so, all in favor of accepting the audit, signify by saying aye or raising your hand or thumb or whatever.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Okay, next on the agenda is the Virgins Pels update.
I have a question before we go on to the next.
Yeah, absolutely,
I'm just
Tom.
curious where most of our funding comes from, because it sounded like it doesn't come from the municipalities.
That's true. Most of it would come from basically various state granting agencies. So I'll give you a real quick thumbnail, and then I'm happy to sit down with you and go over the entire budget and walk you through all the line items. Okay, so very quickly, our biggest funder and some of my favorite funding is from the Agency of Commerce and Community Development. That's basically our general planning fund. We can do any type of planning or other activities that are enabled through the Vermont statutes with that money. That's about $500,000 this year, so about a quarter of our budget or so. Another big item within our budget is the clean water service provider through the Agency of Natural Resources. That's for the remediation of phosphorus in Lake Champlain. Most of that passes through the commission to other consultants, but that's about $1 million a year. Next biggest item would be the Agency of Transportation, which supports our transportation planning. That's about $250,000 a year. After that, it's probably emergency management, which is probably about $50,000 a year, plus some other all hazard or smaller grants for writing all hazard mitigation plans for various municipalities, probably up to 70,000. And then it's some miscellaneous small, it could be brownfields as a federal program. So through the EPA, that's $500,000 over 3 years. So a little bit more than $100,000 a year. Another big one this year is the Middlebury College lands grant that we got for writing their lands plan, and Hannah is going to present that to you sometime shortly. Within the we need them to accept it first. We're done with the draft here and we've given it over to the college. She did a really nice job with it. So once they accept it, we will present that to you because it's a nice piece of work. Does that?
I'm getting the idea.
Yeah,
Yes,
would
it's
you
very,
say
very clear. I
most
appreciate
of
that.
the overhead and wages and insurances and all this stuff comes from that first chunk, from that first 500,000 that you mentioned? Or is it a
Well,
combo?
it's a combination.
Okay.
So if people are working on emergency management, they'll bill an emergency management grant if they're working on.
Gotcha.
And the way our billing is set up is we charge basically our salary plus benefits plus an overhead rate, and the overhead rate basically covers the building and the lights and the computers and everything else. So as we're meant to really break even. We're not meant to make money, but every now and again, there's an opportunity to do that.
Great.
Anybody have any other financial questions?
On to the Virgin's Pels, the planning and environmental linkage study update.
Yep. So this is paid through for with our VTrans grant. Basically, it's an extra element in that transportation grant that we secured. And we're working with VTrans and the city of Virgins and the 6 surrounding towns. So Ferrisburg, Waltham, New Haven, Canton, Addison. Maybe there's one more. Anyway, basically to look at how we might solve the problem of excessive truck traffic in downtown Virgins without basically negatively impacting some of the neighboring communities. That's been a couple year-long study. We are getting to the end of it. We developed a purpose and need statement. Purpose, get the excess big trucks out of the city of Virgins. Why? Because it'll improve air quality, it'll improve quality of life. We're looking for a way to help economic development, so make sure the trucks and other vehicles can move as well. Those are kind of the needs. We then looked at we did a big evaluation matrix, looked at probably 17 or so ways that we might do it, narrowed it down to 5 ways, basically 2 western routes. So new roadways around the west side of Virgins. So I'd say west of the falls, below the falls, 1 route to the eastern above the falls, because it would have a smaller bridge, an existing roadway, which would basically use Route 17 to Route 7 for northbound traffic. So basically divert the northbound trucks off 22A and onto 17 and 7. a longer route for them. And then, an in-town route. So use the existing bridge, go up to McDonough Drive, take a left across oncoming traffic, and then basically have a new roadway, much shorter new roadway up, connecting back in. I think all of them come in by the police station. If just before the 22A underpass under the railroad. So those were the routes that the Pels looked at. Again, for purpose and need. The consultants recommended, they made their final recommendation to the policy committee on Monday. I chaired the policy committee. It's basically our state reps that are involved in the area. It's representatives of each community, so of each town appointed a rep. Businesses in Virgins were represented. So people of that nature. The policy committee accepted the recommendation of the consultant, which was just for the western routes, the pink and blue routes. We basically voted to move the project on to NEPA, to VTrans and FHWA to move through the NEPA process. We've recommended that they get the final say. They have to find funding, and they get the final say in doing that. And then the committee also recommended that we keep the purple route, which is the existing roadway route. So Route 17 and 7 in the mix, Route 17 and 7 northbound in the mix. It was, I tell you, largely a political compromise. There are a couple of members of the policy committee that really wanted to see an existing roadway go to the NEPA process. So that's basically the result of that study. From here, study will be finalized. It will go to VTrans leadership. It will go to FHWA, Army Corps, EPA for their comments. And then we hope it'll move forward and that VTrans will put it through its process, fund it, and recommend it for NEPA. So you'll see a final report in probably within a couple of months, and then we will have a final public meeting in Virgins shortly after that.
Why is the 7 and 17 option only northbound?
Because they felt, I think they felt it was fair to share the burden of the trucks. So keep the southbound going through the city of Virgins, and send the northbound around rather than make all of Virgins' problem some of its neighbors' problems. I also think that the issues with Route 22A in Virgins are largely northbound. So you have the steep hill coming up from Route 22A. And that's where a lot of the trucks get into problems, and that's where there's some excess noise and things. So that was another reason for it. I think those are primarily the two reasons.
Okay.
Adam, will there be any interim report in the Addison Independent? Or are we waiting till everything gets blessed several months in the future?
That's a good question. I don't want to give them an interim report. I'd much rather hand them the final report.
Right.
So, what they report on is their business, not mine. But from us, they'll be getting a final report.
Okay. I just wondered.
I think that's
I'm
wise.
willing to go say, are you aware of a milestone that was achieved? Because we've gone from 17 down to a few.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And the purpose of a Pels study is to narrow the numbers of alternatives to be studied in the NEPA, National Environmental Policy Act process that all big federal highway building projects need to go through. So we did a lot of engagement with it. We were out in the city of Virgins and its neighbors a lot. talked to a lot of people, tried to make it as inclusive and transparent a process as we could. And are happy that we were able to come to a consensus to move forward at the end. So,
Okay.
happy to take any other questions.
Okay, I've lost my agenda again. I think next thing was the QUISP.
Yeah, so as I told Tom earlier when we were talking about budgets, the clean water service provider is the biggest line item in our budget. It's about $1 million a year. Again, most of it is intended to flow through the commission to consultants to work on implement physical projects that mitigate phosphorus from flowing into Lake Champlain. Those can be things like floodplain restoration, so reconnecting rivers with floodplain. It can be riverine plantings to reduce erosion. It can be fixing gully erosion. And we have a number of different, it can be fixing forestry projects, for old forestry roads, legacy forestry roads that are out there eroding. It can't be basically erosion problems that require a permit. So we can't do municipal roads. We can't, because they already have a permit. We can't do stormwater 3-acre sites because they already have a permit. We can't do agricultural lands because they already have a permit. We are moving along. We have a Basin Water Quality Council meeting later in the month. Arabella chairs that committee. We will be presenting, I believe, 3 applications to them for their approval, mostly forest roads this time around, which we haven't really done before. So that's good. I brought this up. I want to put it on your radar. One of the things Danelle is going to be doing for us is helping us with outreach for this. The other thing about the clean water service provider is that, again, we're the final leg of the bucket. We're basically everything else. We're not the ag, we're not the road permits, we're not the stormwater permits. We're kind of the aggregate of everything else, and we're still looking for projects. So I am right now advocating for you to help us look for projects, letting you know we have plenty of money to do projects, and we've got some coming in, but we're still looking for more. So happy to answer any questions on the clean water service provider. Oh, and we were just reappointed for a 5-year term of the clean water service provider. So starting in, I think, December, we have another 5 years. So the Agency of Natural Resources was happy with the work that we've done to date and want us to continue.
Great.
I do believe in terms of both funding made and phosphorus calculated reduction, we're like the best in the state, but
I think you're right, Arabella. I think we have spent the most money and removed the most phosphorus thus to date of all the other QUISPs. So that's a credit largely to the work that you and the Basin Water Quality Council and Mike and Leander and some of our ecos before have done developing that, and our partners. We can't do it without people to implement it, like the Vermont Land Trust or Addison County River Watch or a number of other people.
Lewis Creek Association.
Yep.
Okay. Bylaws update.
Okay, this one's going to be short because I don't have anything to present to you tonight, but I will at our next meeting. The executive board, Joe in particular, noticed that there was a discrepancy in the way we made committee appointments and who had the authority to do it, the e-board or the chair. We put together a small subcommittee, Joe, myself, and Ross Conrad. Ross and I have gone through the entire, we went through that, we've resolved that issue, we believe. And then while we were looking at the bylaws, we went through, made a number of other, what I call mostly housekeeping, proposed changes. You'll see them, you will need to approve them. Again, I'll get them to you prior to the next meeting. We will need, in order to approve them, we would need a 2/3 majority of the commission present and voting at that meeting. So it's a relatively high bar. Like I say, other than the issue as to who has the authority to appoint committees, just the chair or the executive board. And we resolved it in favor of the executive board because that's how we've done things for a number of years. Or we're proposing to resolve it in favor of the executive board. We did look at some other things. As statutes changed, we wanted to make sure the bylaws were up to date with statutes. There are a couple of other provisions we changed to reflect our current practice. Ross, would you like to say anything else about that?
If I'm not mistaken, doesn't the commission get two chances to vote on it, not just one? So we'll vote next month and then the following month as well to change the bylaws, or is it just once?
I know they need to see it before the meeting. I'm not sure how long before the meeting. It may be that they get another, they will be able to look at it 2 months in a row. And I'll figure that out. I'll give it to the e-board in January on the 8 + 14 is 22 on the 22nd, and get it back to you at our meeting in February. If I don't ask you to vote on it, then I'll ask you to vote at the following meeting. Any questions on the bylaws?
Any other old business?
I do not have any, Arabella.
Moving on to new business, annual summary of work for town reports.
So this is also in your package. Each year, you know, at town meeting, basically each town puts together a town report. We generally put together 1 page of summarizing all the things that we have done for the region and in individual communities. That is in your package. It's just, I pointed out to you because it's a nice summary of the work that we do. It's a succinct summary. And like I say, the towns only give us 1 page, so that's why it's so succinct. But it hits on the highlights about the work we do. So we talk about, you know, we talk about grant writing, we talk about regional and municipal planning, emergency management, energy planning, transportation planning, natural resource planning, brownfields planning, and do it all within 1 page.
Could you write my select board report as well? That'd be great. Adam, who do you send it to?
We send it to the town clerks.
Okay, perfect. Thank
Your
you.
town clerk should already have it. And then we ask them to hand it off to whoever is putting together each individual town's annual report.
Adam, do you know when they received it? Because I was made aware that I was a day late in getting my local energy committee report in. It was like last week it needed to be in. Do you know if we met those deadlines or if you even knew of those deadlines?
I know that they generally need them first, second week in January. We sent it out last week.
Okay.
I don't know whether we specifically made it for Virgins or not, but
I can just follow up on it, make sure.
they have it at this point.
Okay, cool.
They haven't scolded you.
I haven't been scolded by Virgins yet.
They wouldn't, it just wouldn't be in the report. It would just be cheaper.
Any other comments, questions on that? Time for the local government committee to talk about confirming the town of Waltham's planning process and regionally approve its town plan.
Sure. So the local government committee met with the Waltham Planning Commission and Zoning Administrator, and we had a joint public hearing on Monday, December 16th. We reviewed their plan. Staff also reviewed the plan. And so we had the staff review, which confirmed that The Waltham plan met all of state requirements. It's really a good plan, and we had a lengthy discussion about all of it. There was, like I said, there was a really good turnout from the both the Waltham Planning Commission as well as the local government committee. So thank you for committee members for being there. At the end, we moved that that the full commission, I'm sorry, the local government committee recommends that the full commission approve Waltham's planning process and confirm their, sorry, I got that the wrong way around. Confirm their planning process and approve their municipal plan. That's my motion. Sorry, I'm a little tongue-tied.
There you go. Second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
But can I ask a question, Arabella?
right.
Shannon, do they have an enhanced energy plan?
Yes, they do.
How is that included in their plan? Or
It's
appendix?
embedded, yes, it's embedded within their plan.
Were there any?
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of, I've also been reading Orwell for next week, so I'm getting the two mixed up. Waltham does have an enhanced energy plan. It's an appendix to their plan, so it's a separate document. It should be available to read on their website.
So that did not need any approval or review
No,
by
because
the energy committee because it's not part of the review?
it didn't need it because it's already been done previously.
Okay.
It's been done like within the last year or two. We were just looking at the land use plan.
Okay, so that aspect didn't change at all.
Right. That was
Okay.
not updated.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Any other discussion? Now, all in favor, say aye or hold your thumbs up or
Aye.
Aye.
any opposed? Abstentions? And it carries unanimously. So any other new business?
I do not have any for you, Arabella.
Any members' concerns or information?
I got something, if I may, just to clarify, I brought up the bylaws. It looks like it says here that commission can approve bylaw amendments by 2/3 vote, provided that the amendment has been submitted in writing at the previous regular meeting and included in the notice of the meeting in which the vote occurs. So I guess we'll be looking at it next month, but then voting on it in March.
Very good.
Thanks for that clarification.
Time for a motion to adjourn? Anyone? Peter, I see your hand up.
I
move we adjourn.
Okay,
Had to turn myself on.
and my
Right.
understanding is we don't need a second or a vote. We can just adjourn. Is that right?
Move
Just
with
get
your
up and
feet.
move.
There you go. Vote with your feet. Yes.
Thank you, Arabella.
Thank you,
Thank you all
everybody.
for attending. It's a good showing.
Good night.
Have a good month.
Nice meeting
Stuff.
everyone.
Adam.